Okay, boys and girls, this is our second day of triangles. So let's just move on. And just a reminder, if you didn't really understand something or you needed some help, you could go to the discussion group and ask a question, and I'll do my best to get you an answer. Okay, and also we're going to do the same thing as we did yesterday. I'm going to explain some things to you. You may use a calculator if you need. And when I'm going over classwork, I'm going to tell you to pause it, do the problem, hit play, check your answer. And then I do have, I think it's 9 questions on Schoology. The answers are up there, so all you need to do is do it real quick. You don't even have to download it. You can get another piece of paper and then check your answers. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about triangles again. We have a base and a height. You need to find the base and the height by finding the right angle first. So here's the right angle of this example. The base is always part of the triangle. The height might be. In this case, it is not. So what we have to do here, though, is find the base. So our formula is area equals 1/2 base times height. So the area is 135 equals 1/2. I don't know what the base is. The height is 18. Here's what I like to do. I like to take half if there is a even number. So half of 18 is 9. So it's 9b, b for base, divided by 9. You should know that. And when you do that, you're going to get 15 centimeters. So 15 centimeters is the base. And just remember, it's not squared. The reason why it's not squared is because we're not finding the area. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so don't worry about doing number 20. I want you guys to try 21. They give you the height, you gotta find the base. Okay, so pause it and then try it. Okay, so the answer for this would be area equals 1/2 base times height. The area they tell me is 72 equals 1/2 the base, I don't know. The height is 9. So I'm going to do 72 equals this. I'm going to take half of 9 because I know it's 4.5. B for the base. Divide by 4.5. Divide by 4.5. Sorry. It's hard to write down here. And the base will equal, and again, I told you can use a calculator, so you're allowed. Let me just get my calculator. So 72 divided by 4.5, and your answer is 16 centimeters. Okay, let's move on. So this is just an example of how you find the height. We went over this yesterday. It's the same thing. You just substitute for height. So I'm not even going to go over it because we already went over that. Same thing with that one. And that's just finding the base. It's just what we just did. Okay, so let's try this one. So you're going to try to find the base of this triangle. What I would do is kind of ignore what they have written right here. And I'd like you guys to just try to solve it on another piece of paper. I find my right angle. I don't know the base. I do know the height, though. This is the height. Remember, the height's not always part of the triangle. The base always is. So try that, pause it, and then try it. Okay, so our answer would be 19.2 is our area equals 1/2. I don't know what the base is, times the height, which is 9.6. So 19.2 equals, I'll take half of 9.6, and that is 4.8. And then what you're going to do is you are going to divide by 4.8. And so we have 19.2 divided by 4.8, and that answer is 4. So when we divide by 4.8, divide by 4.8, the base is 4 centimeters. Okay, let's move on to another one. All right, so for these, what I'd like you to do is you don't need to copy anything. What you're going to do is identify the base and height of each triangle. So I'm going to show you how to do the first one, and then you guys can just try it on another piece of paper or the rest. Okay, so for the first one, if I look at it, the first thing I do is I circle the right angle. This one, since the right angle's right here, oops, sorry. Oh, let me just move this up. Since the right angle is right here, this could be the base, this could be the height, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. So I would say line segment AB equals the base or height. It really doesn't matter. And line segment BC equals the base or the height. It doesn't matter. Okay, try the number 2, 3, and 4, and then pause it, and then come back. Okay, so number 2, I circle the right angle. This is your base right here. It's QR. It's not QRS, because remember, the base has to be part of the triangle. So QR equals the base. That should be lowercase b. The height then has to be right here. So PS is the height. All right, let's move down. Okay, these base and height, again, I'll just explain it. Here's your right angle. So AC is the base or the height, and AB is the base or the height. Doesn't really matter. Number 4, believe it or not, there's no right angle. So what you would need to do is, and I don't know if I could turn my my document. So there's a couple ways to do it. Here's the easiest way though. So what I usually do is I'm going to make EF the base, and if I draw a line coming down and put a right angle, this right here, and you need to put a letter here, like for the point is E. So D to E is the height, and then EF is the base. Okay, that one's a little tricky. Okay, try 5 and 6. So pause it and then come back. Okay, so 5 and 6. So there's a couple ways to do this. It's easier if you kind of turn your paper. So if I turn my I know I can't really show you by turning it, but what I would do is, and I'm going to try to do this the best that I can, is what you want to do is, this is, I'm going to come over and down a little bit and make this a right angle here. And I'll give this a letter, I don't know, E, doesn't really matter. So HI is my base, and then GE would be my height. That's one way to do it. There's other ways to do it too. One way is, and it's a little tricky because it's a hard angle here, is if you go straight up here, I don't know if you can see that, that's a right angle. Put a letter here like E. So HE is the height, HI is the base. All right, let's just try one more here. This one I would go straight down. It's just easier. And put a letter here like M. So LK is the base. LK equals the base. And then JM, there's the height. All right, let's move on. Let's just skip around a little bit. Let's do... actually, all right, let's just move on. I think you're getting it. I'll skip those. Okay, let's just do a couple more. The area is 113.4. So what you need to do is find the base for it. So remember, try. I want you to try this at home. So remember, your formula is 1/2. Oops. 1/2 base times height. So solve that and then come back. Okay, so we have 113.4 equals 1/2. I don't know what the base is. The height 16.2. So I take 113.4. I'm going to take half of 16.2 and get 8.1. And divide by 8.1. And let me just use my calculator. So what we have, 113.4 divided by 8.1. And that's 14. So our height equals 14 meters. Let's just move on from there. Find the area of each triangle. All right, try those two. Remember, it's 1/2 base times height. Okay, first one, 1/2 base times height. So it's, let me get my pen. 1/2. It's not writing. 1/2, 14 or 8. Oops. Come on. 14 times 8. Doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to take half of 14, so it's 7 times 8. So that's 56. And this one's inches squared because we're doing area. This one is 1/2 base times height, so it's 1/2. The base is 7 times the height is 18, so it's half of, oops, no half. I'm taking a half. Let me erase that. So it's 7 times 9, took half of 18. I get 63 and centimeters squared. Oops. Sorry. I gotta go back. All right, so let's just try one more like tricky one. Let me see. Let's try this one. Why don't you try this one at home and then we'll go over it. So there's a rectangle there. It's a real big rectangle, EFHG. It's divided into 6 identical rectangles, as you can see. Remember, they're identical. Find the area of the shaded region. All right, go ahead and try it, and then I'll go over it. Okay, so for this, if you look at this, we have to find the area of the shaded region. So the area of the shaded region right here is a triangle. So that triangle, I already know, these are going to be right angles, is the height or the base there is 16. I need to figure this out right here. So if you have 96, you have to divide it by 3 because those 3 parts equal. So this would be 32. So it's 1/2. The base was 16, let's say, times 32. So I'm going to take half of, it really doesn't matter, 16. So it's 8 times 32. 8 times 32 is 256 inches square. Okay. All right. So we have a couple more to do, and then you're going to be on your own there. All right. So these 3, and then you're on your own. Okay. When I say on your own, I have a worksheet for you to do. It's only 9 problems. So for these, try these 3, then I'll get you the answers. Okay. So the answer for the first one, we have to figure out the base. So give us the area is 42 equals 1/2 base times 6. So 42 equals 3b, 3 for the base because I took half of 6. Divide by 3, divide by 3. The answer is 14 yards. This one is 96 equals 1/2 base times 16. So it's 96 equals 8 for the base. Divide by 8, and you're going to get 12 is that answer. All right, this one, and it's inches. This one, it's 112 equals 1/2 b. Oh, sorry, they give us the base. 1/2 14 times height. So it's 112 equals 7h. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. Let's see, if you divide by 7, you're going to get, I think it's 16. Yeah, so it's going to be 16 centimeters. Let's just double check that. So it's 112 divided by 7. Yep, 16 centimeters. Okay. All right, that's our lesson for today, guys. Have a great rest of the day.